Hey guys, what's up? It's your girl Lorcut. So today I'm going to be discussing the most common mistakes that people make while flying. Traveling is something I do a lot. I want to share these tips with you and hopefully a solution because I know there's a lot of people out there as well that have some difficulties flying, including my family. I'm here to help. The first mistake that a lot of people make is checking in. Checking in can take a very long period of time, especially if you're doing it at the check-in kiosk. You can stand in line for up to an hour, and it's honestly not even necessary. With today's technology, a lot of the airlines use online check-ins, so it's a lot easier, it's smoother of a process for you at the airport. It usually depends on what airline that you're doing it through, but most airlines do provide the service. You check in online 24 hours in advance, you get to pick your seat, buy your luggage. It's very, very easy. And at the end, you also receive your boarding pass. It saves you about an hour to an hour and a half at the airport instead of standing in line at that amazing check-in kiosk, you know? Number 2, not preparing for your flight. Make sure you allow some time in advance to pack, to plan accordingly. Make sure you know how long it takes to the airport. Estimate how much time you're going to be standing in line for security. A lot of times, security can be crazy. You can stand in line for up to 2 hours. It just honestly depends on what day and what time that you're standing in line. It's pretty much proven that around rush hour time is the busy time for security, usually, and Saturdays in the morning. Just make sure when you are planning your flight, if you want to not stand in line for a long period of time, I would do it other than those times. Also, TSA pre-check is an amazing thing. I am very lucky to have it. You pretty much skip the entire security line. It depends on also which airline that you're going through. I know Spirit has a pre-boarding advance, so I think you pay like $6 extra to skip the line when you're boarding your aircraft. So yeah, just make sure that you plan in advance for how much time you might be spending before you get to your aircraft. I usually plan out 2 to 3 hours before I get to my aircraft because I don't know how long it's gonna take for security. I also wanna make sure I get settled, get some food. I like to edit, just lay cool, because some people really do freak out, especially if you're there only 30 minutes before your flight takes off. It's going to be a very hectic process for you to try to make your flight. It's very important to remain calm, cool, and collected before reaching your aircraft. Another thing that people need to prepare for are connections. When planning your flights, I know it can be a lot cheaper for you to go from flight to flight to get to your certain destination. It can be absolutely miserable when you're on the plane, waiting for your plane to get to the gate and there is some sort of delay. They're taking forever. You have a flight to catch in about 30 minutes and you don't know if you're even gonna make it in time because that's how long the deboarding process takes. I think we all know someone who has experienced this. A solution, I would say, is make sure you allow a time slot in between your flight. I suggest 90 minutes to 2 hours would be the best thing for you. And I know people are like, oh, that's stupid because it might not even happen. I might not even get delayed. Well, you always want to prepare for the worst. You rather have more time and make your $200 flight instead of risking it. Risk it for the biscuit and have 10 minutes in between your flight and have a very high chance that you're not gonna make it. It's always better to be on the safe side. Number 3, personal items. When flying with an aircraft, you usually get one personal free item. Usually you can do like a little backpack or a purse or a tote bag. I would go onto your airline's website and search these measurements because a lot of people think they're slick and they can get away with it. There have been multiple times where I tried to do that and it did not work out for me and I ended up having to pay right before I went on my aircraft and I was even more flustered because then that delays you even more. So just make sure that you have the right measurements for your personal bag because if not, it's gonna be no bueno. Also, make sure you have the appropriate size liquids for your bag. Pretty sure that the standard liquid for your bag is 100 milliliters, which is also 3.4 liquid ounces. So don't bring any expensive perfumes or lotion. They'll probably tell you to throw it out. It's happened to me before. Tried getting through an expensive conditioner, had to throw it away. Was pretty upset about it, so I don't want that to happen to you. Number 4, overpacking. I used to have a major problem with this. I have now learned to just pack a backpack when I go anywhere from a 5-day trip to a 3-month trip. It prevents you from overpacking, and it gets you to pack only the necessities that you need. A lot of the times, especially girls, will be like, oh, what if I am on an island and it goes from 80 degrees to 18 degrees? What am I gonna do? Now, we all know that's not gonna happen. If it does happen, just make sure you check your daily forecast before reaching your destination. A couple days prior will help you in advance what to pack. Also, making a checklist. If you do have to bring a big suitcase for a certain occasion, make sure you also have those measurements online. Also, the weight restrictions and the limitations for that as well. I know for a lot of airlines, if your bag does exceed the weight, you will have to pay an extra fee. Make sure that you're weighing your bag. I usually just use a scale at home. Number 5. Not preparing for your arrival for the destination. This happens to be one of the worst ones. And I know a lot of people just spontaneously go on trips. Within 2 days, you plan everything, you get your hotel or your Airbnb, and everything's a-okay. But if you're planning like out of nowhere to go overseas and you're thinking you're gonna get a hotel like that, it usually don't work like that unless you're going to like a state or a city with a lot of openings. If you're going overseas, it's pretty hard. You need to know your hotel, your transportation, your excursion, how much everything is going to cost. Are you renting a car? Are you Ubering everywhere? Do you know how long it's gonna take from getting to point A to point B? Just because it's in the same state does not mean that it's anywhere close to where you are. Plan accordingly. Solution to this is lots of research. I mean, TripAdvisor is a great one. I usually look on there for all of my hotel reviews, all the excursions, and I also look on Google just reviews of the places that I want to go to, just making sure that everything is safe. Tip for you to research. Lastly, budgeting. Know how much you would like to spend and plan out everything so you can just have an amazing trip. You won't have to worry about anything money related while you're there. You don't want to be stuck in a situation where you have nowhere to stay, have no way to get home. Make sure that you have enough money and plan out your trips. If you're going on a small trip, I would recommend at least 2 months. And if you're planning out a big trip like going overseas, I would plan up to at least 6 months. Planning in advance will also give you time to get cheaper prices. For instance, if it's spring break, you're going to Miami, wait till the week of to book, it's gonna be crazy expensive because everyone's going. If you're planning at least 3 months in advance, it's gonna be cheaper. It's gonna be like $100. I can tell you from all this firsthand that I have experienced all of these things. Those are the most common mistakes people make while traveling, while flying. If you enjoyed this video, please click the thumbs up, press the big red button down there to subscribe to this channel. I will be uploading videos weekly now. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next video. Bye!